What's up everyone, Andrew Baena here, and on today's video we are talking about the brand new update to the Nano Cortex. I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with this device. It came out last year. So the Nano Cortex was already pretty cool at launch, but this update adds a ton of new stuff to the table, which I am very happy to see, like the addition of swappable effects. So before we get on to talking about the new features, I just want to mention that, of course, all of the guitar tones that you just heard were created using the Nano Cortex, and these were all created using existing captures that you can download from their cloud services. I didn't capture any of my own physical amps, so if you don't have a physical amp, don't worry about that. You can find tons of awesome tone captures out there already that are readily available for you to use. In addition to the Nano Cortex, I was using this beautiful Ibanez M80M. This is Meshuggah's signature guitar. I have it tuned all the way down to drop D sharp, I guess you would say, an octave lower than a 6-string guitar, and this guitar sounds absolutely brutal through the Nano Cortex. It also has a single Lundgren pickup and a 30-inch scale length, more or less. So I'm going to show you the rhythm tone soloed outside of the context of a full mix because I'm still so stoked on how it came out. So yeah, it sounds brutal. As you heard in the full demo mix, that is the tone by itself. And then the other tone that I was using was more of like an ambient creepy tone, which sounded something like this. So yeah, of course, those are just two very simple examples of tones that you can create using the Nano Cortex. So for the rest of this video, you're going to be seeing my phone screen right here so you can follow along with what I am doing on the accompanying app. You can control every feature of the pedal using the app on your phone. It's very easy to use. I personally find it easier to use than the physical buttons on the Nano Cortex. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So if you're familiar with the Nano Cortex already, this screen is going to look almost the same. So it starts out with your foot switch assignment. So this is, of course, where you can assign your 2 foot switches to different presets, having a total of 4 presets. So I was using the second button for both of mine, being Carcosa Rhythm and Ambient Creep, like so. And if you touch these on your phone, it obviously changes it on the physical pedal itself. Next up, we have the capture section right here where it says neural captures. So on this section, this is basically saying what amp capture you are using. So as you can see here, for my Carcosa Rhythm tone, I was using the Angle Energy 3 capture, which is provided by Neural DSP. It should be on your device by default. So if you want us to switch your amp tone, you can do that right here. There's obviously a ton of different options included, and you can go ahead and download a bunch more on the cloud itself, but I'm going to leave it at Angle Energy 3 for now because I liked how it sounded. Next up, of course, we have the cab/IR section. Again, there's going to be a bunch of impulse responses included in your device already. For this one in particular, I did load my own, which is an impulse response from Buster Odom, from Humanity's Last Breath, Viljarda, Throne, so on and so forth. Amazing producer, love his work, so I'm using his impulse response there. But of course, you can use anything else, and a lot of them are included by default in the Nano Cortex. Next up is where things get very interesting. So originally when the Nano Cortex came out, it only had 5 different effects and they were hard locked. You could not change them. So now the noise gate is actually attached to your input all the time, so it frees up a block entirely. And then you have 2 blocks for your pre-effects and then 3 blocks for your post effects. So as you can see from my rhythm tone, I was actually only using one of them, and it is an overdrive pedal. That was another thing I remember a lot of people mentioning not liking about the original launch of the Nano Cortex, is that it didn't have an overdrive. So that is definitely fixed now. So for example, on this tone, if you wanted to add one, you would just go to this section, and then this is going to say pre-FX2, so the second slot on your pre-FX. And down here, you have a whole list of a ton of different options you can put in the pre-effects slot. So I was using the green 808. So if you go ahead and select that, it's then going to show you the options for this particular effect, which are very simple: overdrive, tone, and level, of course. And if you want to switch that out to a different overdrive or whatever else you want, you can easily do that like so. And then when you select a different effect, obviously the effect controls will correlate to that. Similarly, if you want to change other parts of the effects chain, like this one, you can see that it's transposed at the moment. I currently have it off. If you want to turn it on, you can do that. And then, you know, it's going to be -5 semitones. So let's go ahead and play with that real quick. just in case D sharp isn't low enough for you, right? And again, like with the overdrive pedal, you can of course change the transpose effect to be a few different options, as you can see here, like an additional noise gate, a wah filter, so on and so forth. And then likewise for the post effects, of course, there are 3 slots right here. So you can have a modulation, a delay, and a reverb. And again, modulation, you can change that up to be a bunch of different options. So we can do like a chorus effect, for example. Let's turn that on and hear what that sounds like. So just like that, you can totally change the tone you have going on. Or change it back. But last but not least, of course, like I said, we have the delay. Again, a few different options for different types of delay there, and reverb, which again, a few different options for types of reverb there. So yeah, tons of new features were packed into this update, and I think it's going to satisfy a lot of people, a lot of early adopters who maybe wanted some of these features. Now they're there. It's always very cool to see when a company kind of listens to customer feedback, and I feel like Neural DSP really did that with this one. I personally thought that the device as is was already pretty good. The overdrive thing, I could understand some people's point, but I was like, you could just, download a capture that has an overdrive built into the capture itself. But this does definitely clear that up and give you a lot more options. So now seeing it in practice, I definitely am happy they made this change, because it's going to make shaping your own tone and customizing your tone much, much, much simpler, especially with the accompanying Cortex Cloud app. Okay, that pretty much does it for this video. I have to give a massive thank you to Neural DSP for sponsoring this video. And again, if you already have a Nano Cortex, be sure to go update it to this newest firmware, because it's going to give you tons of new features. And if you don't have a Nano Cortex yet, there's going to be a link in the description and the pinned comment below where you can go buy one for yourself if this video has convinced you to try one out. Also, I want to give a thank you to my friend Julian for helping to film that intro clip, and also Doober for helping to write some of that intro clip. Shout out to those boys. And last but not least, a big thank you to all my Patreon members whose names are on the screen at this point in time. If you're interested in audio downloads, guitar tabs, stems, or a shout out on the screen like these lovely people here, you can find all of that over on my Patreon page, which is also linked in the description below. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.